Bar.
Yeah, there you go.
There you
There
go.
it is. There it is. Hey, ladies, how are you tonight?
Hey, hey, hey.
You ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? We've
We're
got
ready.
exciting guests with us tonight. It is an exciting topic, which I know we are all looking forward to. Looking forward to hear what our listeners have to say and tell this amazing story that they have. And we're going to start off first. First, we're going to still do our week in review like we usually do. Victoria, I'll go first if you don't mind.
Oh, no, not at all.
Then you could go, and then Ruth will get you on the third piece, and then we'll do our bios, and we'll come back around. That sound pretty good to everybody?
That
Sounds
sounds
good.
good. I
Okay.
like when things work the same way each week.
We wish.
Right? Well, we know the format is the
Yes,
same.
we do. Can't say anything about that. I hope you got
Because
your
sometimes,
out,
woohoo,
all tapped out and planned out. It was not too busy, but interesting. It was a good week. It was a good week, and I'm ready. I am ready to go tonight and see what
Well,
I guess.
well, since you're ready to go, it is
You
time to
let's roll 'em.
roll that beautiful bean footage.
Okay.
Okay, Alan, let's go. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Authors Up. It is our favorite place to be on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. We hope that you are making it your favorite place to be as well. I am Andrea L. Hines, and I am here with my cohorts and co-hosts, Miss Ruth Griffin. Hey there,
Partners in
Ruth.
crime, bronze girls.
That's it.
And there's Queen Victoria down there at the bottom. Hey there, Victoria. How you doing tonight?
Hello. I
You
am
good?
pleasantly pleasant tonight.
You
Okay.
my pleasantly pleasant.
Yes.
I'm not sure what that means, but I have a feeling if it's Victoria, we're gonna have some surprises along the way. She never fails to surprise us, and I'm glad. We've had a good day today. I know that I have. I hope that you have as well. Alan, if we have any folks from Toronto or Jamaica that come in with us sometime, I know there's a church, I think it's in Jamaica, that comes on. If they happen to come in tonight, if you would acknowledge them so that we can tell them hello personally, that would be a good thing. I'm looking forward to this evening. It is a great topic. We have
Yes.
great co-authors that are going to be with us. It's going to be a special afternoon. If you have any people who are particularly interested in theater or acting or the arts or whatever, although this is good information, I think, for everybody. But if you do, be sure that you like and share this broadcast with them as well. Okay, you guys ready?
We're ready.
Ready.
We're gonna
Ready to go.
We're going to start with our usual, and that is with our week in review. And I'm going to go first tonight.
Oh, you must have something you want to share.
Not, and I'm
All
just
right.
getting ready to clarify. I'm just getting ready to say not because I have anything extremely interesting.
Speak. Go ahead, speak. Get it
But
out.
I just wanted to go first tonight. It was a good week. It was just a good week. I've been working on stuff, and you all are going to get tired of me talking about it. But I have been making plans for June. June 10th is going to be coming around, and I solidified the venue. For those of you who don't know, I'll be celebrating 5 years in internet radio and TV broadcasting coming up.
Yeah, congratulations.
We're gonna party. That's all I can tell you. We are going to party.
Like $20.99, huh?
We're having a good time, and I wanted to make sure that I had my venue nailed down before the end of this month, so that I can really, really begin plans and invitations and all the things that go into that. I am so excited about it, and I got up this morning during prayer and thought, I don't think I can take thinking about this thing every day from now to June. So Ruth, you're gonna have to keep me settled down.
Okay.
Ruth always settles me down when I start getting crazy about stuff. So that's really the thing that I was looking at, and I managed to for the second month. I didn't intend to show this, but I happen to have it here. I do these little tiny books. I don't know whether you can see them. I call them my pocket books, and this is the second month getting them back into the prison system.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful.
In December, it's good news, bad news. In December, I sent 80. It is sad that I had to send that many, but it is good news that their lives were touched by it. So this past month, for the month of January, I sent a different book and sent 80 more out. So it's good to know that encouragement is going forth. So I was excited about that. I was excited about because for a while, after COVID, we weren't able to go in. So felt good to do that little bit of community service and have that going on. So that pretty much consumed my week in a good way. So I was glad about that. What were you up to, Victoria? I know you were up to something.
Nothing.
Again?
Not buying that.
I mean, nothing's not a bad thing.
Exactly. Nothing super happened last week. Just work. I think I'm more excited about this week coming. So I'm going to do a weekend preview. How about that?
Okay, that'll work.
My baby is going to graduate from high school early on Wednesday evening.
All righty.
That's really what's been going on, getting the preparations and everything ready for graduation this week. And I'm just it's bittersweet, your baby, the last one out of 6 kids, for our blended family. And the last one, the last of the Mohegans is coming out of high school. And so, not only are they coming out early, they had failed the 10th grade and had to do a lot of repeat work, during COVID. Was just not a good time. But they've not only surpassed the work and just did enough work so they can come out early. So I'm so proud of her. My baby is gonna graduate. So it's just been, like I said, bittersweet, getting prepped for all that. And then got a little trip coming up. So I'm excited about the R&R that I'm going to get.
All right.
No children.
All right.
No.
Now, look, before we go to Ruth, I'm going to correct you on one thing. There was something exciting in review that you did. Victoria was my guest.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
But she was talking about her upcoming program. She was talking about living life victoriously. Yes. And we got so many comments, Victoria. And
really?
Really, really blessed people.
Good.
Because a lot of times that we think living our best self and living our best life and being who we are and all of those things, live victorious, means that we don't have challenges.
Right.
And the issue is that that's how you live victoriously, in getting yourself beyond those places where you may be stuck, where you may be in pain, where you may have things going on. So you really, really touched the listeners. I wanted to be sure to tell you that. So thank you for being a guest.
I had a blast, and forgive me forgetting about it.
That's
It was only
okay.
3 nights ago, and it was wonderful. I had a good time.
We
I
had
had
a
a good
great
time
time.
talking
Great time.
and just sharing and just encouraging folks that just because you go through something does not mean that you can't have joy. I choose joy every day.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
And Miss Ruth, what you got? What you got online for us?
Yeah. Okay. Well, still recovering, but
Yes.
I am excited because we just finished up the last details for Adria's transformation. So
Awesome.
she is going to be, her book will be released on the 14th on Valentine's Day.
Wonderful.
If you haven't followed her on social media, we'll put that out there. But Paula Obi, she is excited. She's going to have a book signing on, I believe, on the 18th.
18th.
She's doing infomercials. She's doing interviews. She got it going on for the
Really,
marketing.
really good. Really good.
Absolutely. And her book just turned out wonderful. So we're excited to be
For
sharing
those
it.
of
Baby,
you
we birthing the baby.
Those of you who don't know, Paula Obi was our contest winner. We had a contest from concept to completion,
Yeah.
and Paula was won that contest, and Ruth and Victoria and I have been diligently working with her. Ruth mainly as the publisher, and it is a wonderful story. It is a great book. Paula did an amazing job, and we are happy to be midwives.
Birth the baby.
Yes.
It's been 3 years now, right? It's been 3 years or 2?
Yeah.
3.
But it sat. But
Okay,
I'm not
that's
going to talk about how long it sat on the shelf
Okay.
before she had the
Nope.
nerve to bring
That's
it
all right.
forward, and
That's all
her
right.
dream has come to pass. So
Yes.
so
Yes.
we're happy about that.
Yes. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited. Remember, we had the novel NaNoWriMo back in November.
Yeah.
I usually put the book down in December, and I was able to pick it up last week and start writing again. So
Good.
I was about halfway done at about 50,000 words. I got maybe another 30,000 left to go.
Good for you. I can't wait to read this book.
Yeah. So yeah,
It's gonna
that
be
was
a
my
page turner.
it will be.
Ooh!
Well, I tell you what, we have had a lot going on this past week. We've got a preview of some things coming up, but for tonight, we have two wonderful authors with a wonderful book, and we're going to tell you a little bit about them, and then allow them to tell us a little bit about their book tonight. For more than 35 years, Elma Lenz Canefield has worked with dancers, actors, musicians, and vocal artists as a psychotherapist and life coach, and has one of the only private practices exclusive to them in the country. In 1986, she founded the Juilliard School's counseling service. Pre-COVID, she presented performance potential masterclasses for performing artists all over the U.S. She continues to practice full-time and currently offers pro bono groups for artists in the time of COVID. Her work brings her irrepressible joy. I love that.
Irrepressible. I like that's gonna be my new word. Well, a writer, life coach, and linguist, Diane Cunjo has always been drawn to helping others realize their potential. Diane works as a transition and career coach with clients from all over the world. Diane and Elma met in the early 2000s at a coach training program and have been writing and coaching as colleagues ever since. Born into a family of doctors and amateur musicians, Diane was introduced to the wonders of performing arts at an early age. She lives with her family in Brooklyn. And after a short break, we are going to hear from Elma and Diane. We'll be right back.
There they are. Good evening. Good evening.
Welcome.
How are you? You guys who can send up hearts, send them up, and let
Yes.
our guests know that we love them and we're glad that they are with us tonight. Diane and Elma, how are you ladies doing?
Irrepressibly.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Diane, you're good tonight as well.
Overjoyed to be here.
Overjoyed. Well, I'm going to turn things over to Ruth to get us started tonight.
Absolutely. Welcome, Diane and Elma. Now, you guys, I think, are the second set of co-authors that we've had on here. So whoever jumps in first, they get to answer. So we are happy to have you here. We are so glad. Your book was intriguing. We needed to know more, and you guys are here for that. So I think, though, I'll start with Elma. Why don't you tell us what the book is about?
Well, the book is about my very, very fulfilling career as a specialist in the psychology of the performing artist. And what I learned from potentially your children, Victoria, the hundreds, literally hundreds of dancers and actors, musicians and vocal artists with whom I've worked for now almost 4 decades. And what they've taught me about how they prevent themselves really from being successful and how they empower themselves to reach what I call their performance potential. And that means being the best that they can be and doing the best that they can do when they perform. And that's what you ladies do. Your daughter, Victoria, in graduating early and catching up,
Right.
reached her performance potential.
Potential. Okay.
Wow.
Okay. I like that.
Awesome.
Okay, I was going to ask about real world application, but
That's
obviously
a good
there
example.
is. So,
Yeah.
tell us about the title. That is usually from a lot of the authors that I've worked with. They're like, well, I don't know what to call it yet. But where does Hamlet's Mirror come in?
Should I tell you the history of the title? The history of the title, as Diane so well knows, because I gave it up with a lot of grief.
Oh,
It's the Diva Syndrome
okay.
Oh,
in the book, because isn't that a really good title? I mean, but I lectured on several ocean liners and even performed it once at NYU and put people to sleep because it's so negative.
Right.
It's really how to fail. It's the formula and how not to reach your performance potential. So, Diane, you can chime in on this. We struggled and struggled, and I always loved the quote from Hamlet. It is the artists, after all, who hold the mirror up to life, reflecting all. And then it came to us. Why not?
Yeah.
Hamlet's mirror.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot of people had trouble with diva has a negative connotation and syndrome has a negative connotation. Even though we loved it and it was the working title for a long time, we kept hearing feedback, it might not be a good idea. And then we played around and Elma came up with Hamlet's something else, and it evolved, and then Hamlet's Mirror was the keeper.
All right. Well, that's interesting. I'll admit, because that was the one thing that drew me in when I saw that title. I was like, oh, I have to know more. So, good job.
Thank you.
All right. So let's talk about. All right. So what made you? You've been in this field for about 4 decades now. You said. What made you decide to write the book now?
Well, we've been at this for 5 years. So now has Lynn.
Now-ish, yes.
Now
But Elma, you've been working on this
Okay.
30 years.
for 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it's really an accumulation of
Mhm.
what I've learned from these. What's the show you taught me? Everything I know.
I don't know that one.
Used to be a singer. They taught me everything.
Mhm.
And I think I know enough now to write the book. Although, if I had to write it again, I'd change so many things.
Wow.
Ever evolving.
Yeah.
So that might be a book too. What you think?
Really.
I think we have it in us, right, Elma?
You probably do.
We have so much fun.
We do. But when Elma came to me and we'd collaborated on some other projects, and she said she's ready to do her book.
Mhm.
She had a lot of written materials, lectures and concepts that she had developed based on what she's learned over the years. So we had a lot to work with already. And you, Elma, you had a very good idea of the structure of the book. That evolved, and we went back and forth. But you really knew what the purpose was: to share, to give back, to thank the performing artists for everything they taught you, and really share that with everyone, because as you mentioned, these concepts apply to everyone because we're all performing every day. Yeah.
So true. So
Wow.
true. I want to just interrupt just for a moment to greet Scotland, that's in with us tonight, and also Toronto. Thank you guys so much for joining Authors Up. We appreciate your presence tonight, and we hope that you will be able to glean from these wonderful nuggets from our authors, Diane and Elma, this evening. So go ahead, guys. I just want to make sure that I did not forget to greet them tonight.
So, are they new on your broadcast?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Well, welcome.
All right, so let's talk about your collaboration. How did that work? Obviously, like you just said, Elma, you brought in a lot of the material. How did you two work together? How long did it take you to write the book? What was that process like?
You want me to go? Well, we were already friends, and as I mentioned, we'd already collaborated. I think Elma knew that I understood what she wanted to share, and I understood her work, and we got together and we kind of just talked, and I took notes, and we had an outline, and
Several
outlines, and we kept revising them and updating them, and to see what fit where. There was so much good material, and how to present it in a way that flowed and made sense. And I took all the lectures and read them and made notes, and we met a couple times a week and went back and forth. And sorry,
I was living in New York then.
Right. And it started coming together. And I remember at first, I think you just really wanted to get it all down, and sort of leave your legacy. And then at one point we said, wow, there's a lot here. I think there's a lot to share. So I think we surprised ourselves. But it was a fun process. I certainly learned so much from Elma. I feel like for me personally, it was, I really saw what my potential was as a writer, and certainly feel like I've reached my performance potential with this book. So thank you. Um, but
That's awesome.
yeah,
So
I
what other
Hey,
go ahead.
just a warning flag. It is storming here, really, 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 really bad. Thunder
Okay.
and lightning kind of storming. So if I disappear, that's why, and I'll try to
Okay.
get back if I have to.
All
So
right.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll forewarn
Good to
you there.
know.
Okay.
All right. So are you guys working on any other projects now, or is it just kind of whatever comes goes? Any other books, or you just this is it?
Well,
oh.
there, we post weekly.
Mhm.
Um, we hear from people and we take their responses and post about them.
On
With
Facebook
messages to
and
the-
LinkedIn.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I found that I love writing.
Yeah.
I surprised myself because I fell worth a darn. Kind of inhibiting, but I really enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
Good.
So do you like writing more than performing?
Oh, performing's another thing.
Yes, it is.
Well, awesome. All right. Well, I'm gonna turn it over to Andrea.
Well, my question is a very simple one because you outline the performance types in your book: problem ridden, pugnacious, promising, and potential realized performers. Those four types. Is there a way to? And I know there's so much in each one, but could you just briefly share the different types, what those different types are like?
Yeah, during the years, I really noticed personality types, and at first they were based on energy. The first two, I call it dissonant energy, the type of energy that you want to run from.
Mhm.
Very negative, judgmental, ugly energy.
Mhm.
And the second, I call it harmonic energy. That's open and basically wants everybody to reach their potential and nice to be around.
Right.
But then I began to see patterns that really defined each personality. And the first two, the problem ridden and the pugnacious, are based on the diva syndrome. The problem ridden is full of fear, where the pugnacious is full of anger. They're both outcome driven, where you all perform. You have to stay in the moment. You have to be just rooted in the here and now
Mhm.
to connect with people on stage and people in the audience.
Right.
They believe that their feelings are factual. If I feel sad, well, you have to feel sad, and that's real. And my reason for being sad is real. So watch out. So those two personalities, you cannot not reach your performance potential. You okay?
I'll be okay. All right.
Um, then the promising, which is a really, most people fall at promising. But what holds a promising performer or person back is two things that sound funny: rationalizations,
Mm.
which are great, we all do them, and altruism. Where both of them, we think we're, I'll settle, I'll compromise, I'll tolerate, I'll justify, or, oh, your needs come first. That's okay. You go in the practice room.
Right.
You take the first curtain.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It looks like I'm doing for you, but the rewards, the reasons why, are often mine,
Mhm.
and that will hold a performer back, anybody back, because if I'm not appreciated,
Right.
then what?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then the realized performer, I call them divine diva characteristics, listening, choice.
Mhm.
Choice is a big one. There's 8 of them. I should be able to rattle them off.
Fearless, self-care.
Mhm.
I like fearless.
Fearless, being terrified,
Mm,
petrified, but doing it anyway.
but do it, yeah.
It's not that you can't be afraid.
Right.
I know really just supremely successful performers who really tremble before they go on stage.
Wow.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a process.
Right.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right. Right. Right.
And your body gets a good shake. Those primarily are the 4 personalities. And
Yeah.
a little sketch of each. What did I leave out, Diane?
No, you did a really good job of covering it. Yeah.
The good news about that performance type that shakes, because I have definitely experienced that. I did a scene where I was drinking coffee and they literally had to put cotton under under the cup because I would shake so bad in the beginning that, if I brought it up and put it down, it would just rattle.
Wow.
But the good news is it only lasted a few moments,
Right.
and what is that makes that happen, that you can have that nervousness and that fear like that. But man, once you're into it, and it doesn't take long to get into it, but it just dissipates. It's like it was never there. Why
Yeah.
is that?
Well, I'm glad that's for you, but that was not for me.
One of the, you said it, coffee. I have a thing about coffee and caffeine. Depending upon your being, coffee can be not good.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
It
It
can.
make you have the shakes.
Mhm.
May I ask you how many cups of coffee you drink a day?
Now none. Seriously, I used to drink black coffee all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Even before performance?
Oh yeah. I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
back then I drank coffee a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't drink it at all now because it put me, I realized, not thinking in terms of performance, but just
Mhm.
period. You
Mm.
know, it would just put me in a place where I was just like
Right.
the Energizer Bunny, you know.
Right.
I'd go into meetings and they'd say, "Well, you have an opinion?" And then, no, not now. They'd say, "Wait till she has some coffee. She'll have an opinion." You know.
But Elma, Andrea also mentioned the fact that once she got on stage and got into her role,
Mhm.
that stopped. The trembling subsided. How would you speak to that?
I
It's being present.
I don't really know because of the coffee.
Ah,
Mhm.
I'm thinking it's the being present, and once the there's a like a switch that was turned on or off.
I would guess that was true, but I, the coffee variable, I would hope that's true, and it sounds like it is true. But I'm glad you're off coffee.
So is the rest of the world, Elma. They're glad too.
You know, you said something very important. You said think. One of our favorite things in the book, we have to stand up and do this, okay? It goes, when you change what you're thinking, you will change what you're doing.
Mm.
Do you remember that in the book?
Yeah.
I'm not the only one standing.
Because you do it so well.
It's a lot to stand up and sit back down right now, so I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is one of the most compelling features of the book I'm finding, because it is so true. Who was it? Joy, I think it was Ruth, who said, "You chose joy."
Yes.
Yeah.
Victoria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Choose joy.
It's a conscious choice. Yeah.
Right.
Conscious
Right.
choice, and it's a way to think,
Yeah.
Mhm.
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 because you could think, were you sick?
No. Well, actually, I do have some chronic illnesses. Yes. And so there are some challenges I face, and the arthritis is rearing its ugly head right about now. And so there are days when I don't feel like smiling, but
You change what you're thinking,
thank it.
change what you're doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's great.
Mantra, and it makes all the difference in the world.
Yes.
My granddaughter tells me it changed your life.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Mhm.
So obnoxiously cheerful.
Well, Victoria, what you were saying, or in the review, was it living life victoriously and
Yes.
dealing with the challenges, but choosing or
Yes.
thinking, to be victorious in spite of, or to
Exactly.
be joyful in spite of.
Exactly. And my mantra is to, try to help somebody along the way.
Yeah.
And I love that you guys have chosen to do that with your book.
Mm.
That you're instead of just taking this knowledge with you and moving on, you have written this knowledge down for all performers and even little old non-actresses like us, like me. I'm gonna say me.
No, like us. You're right.
And my question is, what would you advise young people, just starting out in their performing careers? What would you tell them to do? And then a sidebar, I love the psychotherapy piece of this, the thinking, the psychology of performing. It is, I have two very different performers. They're very talented, each in their own way. The middle child is really one of that calm kind of person. Will get a little antsy, but will learn the lines and do. My oldest one, all over the place. just all the place. You just want to wring her neck, right? But when she gets on that stage, she becomes the role.
Mhm.
And I just can't be mad anymore because once she starts to perform it, it's like you had to do all this to do that. Why? But my question is, back to the question was, what would you tell a young person, like my children in that age range of just kind of starting out? What would you advise them to do to think better?
Study,
Mm-hmm.
the teacher,
Mm.
and prepare.
Okay.
Uh, it is such, it's, Dickens, it's the worst of times, it's the best of times. It's the worst of professions and the best of professions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of this is in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Compete only with yourself. If you start comparing,
Right.
But the child of yours who's just in it now,
Mm-hmm.
I would get him or her the meanest teacher. Not really mean. I don't mean it.
I know what you mean.
Is to tear. Here, is it a boy?
It's girl. I have two girls who are performing, and the oldest one, as a matter of fact, is going for a audition this coming week for I forgot the name of the play, but forgot what it was, but she's Dream Girls, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as prepared, like do it backwards.
Okay.
Be so prepared she could do it with a handstand.
All right.
You cannot be too prepared and
Okay.
be on time.
Okay.
And look presentable. I mean, this is a tough business.
Right.
And you don't want to do anything to put you behind immediately.
Exactly.
Is it an open call?
I have no idea. Now you're going beyond me now.
Okay. Dream Girls. Oh,
Thank
such
you.
a great book.
Yeah.
Would you say anything else, Diane?
No, I was just thinking of the formula for excellence. I don't know if you remember that, but it again, so much of this seems so obvious, but it's funny how people sometimes they complain, they try to do something and it doesn't work out. I'm just not good. And then they abandon it. And the reality is, if you want something, you have to work at it and you have to keep at it and you can't give up. And even when you fail, you have to get up again and just keep doing it. And, and the formula really is, it's basic, how many hours, I don't remember exactly now how it goes, but, it's putting the time in. It's putting the time in.
One more thing. It's really important not to take if she doesn't get it personally.
Exactly.
Don't take it personally.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she might vocally and performance-wise be the best.
Right.
But they might want a male.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Or they might want someone who's white.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Never know.
So she's going in against variables
Right.
she doesn't know about.
Exactly. I'll remind her that.
Understand that.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a personal business.
Right.
Because so many people are just devastated.
Right.
And
Right.
wrong with me.
Right.
They wanted someone 10 feet tall.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And it depends on who they're going up against too, right? There has to be the chemistry or the
Yeah.
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 the rapport there.
And this is the first time she'll be doing anything since she graduated from college. So it's pretty important to her. So I
Right.
just, encourage her to do your best. That's all you can do is do your best.
That's it.
And,
She's up against
but don't quit. Don't quit.
Hmm.
Don't quit.
And learn from your mistakes, right? Learn from what could I have done better or differently.
Exactly.
It's always a learning experience.
a mistake is a learning.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
it. That's it. Well, where can
There are
our
no
viewers
mistakes.
and our listeners, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I know our time is going down. Where can our listeners and viewers find your beautiful, precious book?
Thank you. It's on Amazon. It's on Barnes and Noble. It turns out it's everywhere, we've noticed.
Good.
Walmart.
Good.
I don't know. Yeah, but Amazon, Barnes and Noble, where else? Yeah, I guess. And it's available also as an ebook.
Okay, and if they wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that? That's right. Get the book. Get the
Yeah,
book,
get
everybody.
the book. Possibly through Elma's website, elmalindsayfield.com.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All
that would
right.
work. Yeah.
This has been so much fun. I don't want to hang up.
Thank you. It's lovely to talk about this and hear what everyone is doing and all the wonderful, life, really, right?
Exactly. Well, here's one question we didn't ask. How's the book been doing since it was released? How's it been received?
Good. It's getting a lot of really wonderful. There's a lot of interest, and we're, as Elma said earlier, we're hearing a lot of comments how people will say, I learned things about myself that I didn't know, or
Awesome.
I have a new appreciation for performing artists. I didn't realize how challenging it was. You think it's so glamorous.
Right.
So there's been a lot of interest, but like anything, and you're all authors, it takes time. And, it's just keeping at it and being present and doing these wonderful podcasts and just getting the word out. So thank you.
We thank you. We thank you for being here, for taking the time to talk with us. We really do.
Thank you so much.
I want to say just two things. Thing number one, this book, while it may be geared towards performing arts, which it certainly is, but there are some life lessons in here
Yes.
that are good for anybody, anytime, anywhere. It's like people say sometimes, I steer clear of leadership books because I'm not in a leadership position, but you're leading something at some time, in some point, in some place. And one of the things that you said tonight, which I think is a life lesson piece, and you talked about variables you don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's life. One of our programs is When Life Speaks. Life is filled with variables you don't know about.
Right.
And we can't quit. We always say quitting is not an option.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hang in there. You got to stick with it. Whether you're a performer or a musician, actress, teacher,
mother. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now you talk about variables you don't know about. Yeah. Parenting is one long list of variables you don't know about.
Right.
But I do encourage everybody to get the book, because it's not just for the performing arts. There's some wonderful, wonderful life lessons in there that we can all get something from. And ladies, you have been a delight. Thank you so much, not just for joining us tonight, but for writing this book. I wish I had it in my, back then, but I thoroughly, it is one that there are just some pieces that you have that you go back to, that you revisit, that you take a little time with one section more than another. That is this kind of book. So as Victoria tells us, when we have great authors on Get the
Get
Book.
the book.
So
So I can add it to my library.
that's right. And Ruth, do you have any final comments for tonight?
Well, I just wanted to thank Elma and Diane again. Thank you for joining us. We thoroughly enjoyed having you on. And for all our listeners, wherever you are, we appreciate you. We thank you for listening and for joining us as well. And if you have any questions or any comments, you can email us at authorsup@gmail.com.
All right. Well, that is it for us tonight. Thank you, listeners, for being with us. Scotland and Toronto, thank you so much for tuning in with us tonight as well. And ladies, it has been a joy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stay on.
That's it. Oh, yeah. She's asking you guys to just hang in there a little bit after the outro. Okay. Great. That's it for us for tonight. We encourage you to come back next week. We'll be right here on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. There will be a rebroadcast of this program on Saturday night at 7. So if you know somebody who can benefit from this, who may have missed it tonight, tell them feel free to come back on Saturday evening at 7 p.m. and they can hear this broadcast again. And for something brand new, they can join us on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. And I don't know who we've got coming. I don't know what's going to happen, but let me tell you, you don't want to miss it because you never know what's going to happen on Authors Up. So thank you so much for being with us, guys. And we'll see you next week, 7 p.m. Good night, everybody.
Good night. Night, Browns girls.